Hello everyone, this is Soul Esprit, servant of the Lord Jesus Christ. Today is December the 22nd, 2018. This is the Dow forecast for the upcoming year and beyond. Before I give that, I'd just like to say that my track record for predicting stock market advances and crashes is unparalleled in the industry. You can take a look at my track record from my book, When Will the Illuminati Crash the Stock Market? There's about 17 pages of published documentation proving that claim. So we had a really strong upward movement in the Dow starting the second quarter 2018 all the way up until that infamous October. Famous for crashes, right? And for the last 3 months, the market has been plummeting, especially here over the last 3 weeks. It's actually dropped from 26,000 down to its present level of 22,445. Pretty significant, you think? Well, actually, it's not, because if you look at a longer term time frame, it hardly even registers. And I'm talking about that incredible movement from 2009 all the way up to the present. It was at 6,400 in 2009. We got a high here of right around 27. I guess it was right around 27,000, almost exactly, right? Not bad. Not bad at all for 10 years. Oh, in fact, it's the greatest movement in terms of speed in the history of the stock market. In technical terms, what does it mean? It is the final phase. You would really have to purchase my book, Fractal Trading 2, to understand what I'm going to say from this point, because I'm going to talk in technical terms in order to provide some clarity as to where this price is in its overall time frame, and I'll talk about the monthly chart right now. Currently, we are in a 4-degree correction, and it will go to about 21,000. So it's got about another 1,500 Dow points before we'll see a bottom to this. We're not in a serious decline right now. It's just merely a correction of the 2016, 17, and 18 movement. Actually, it's mid-2016, early 2016. It's correcting that right now. And it will turn shortly as we get into the new year of 2019. Expect maybe 2 more weeks of decline, and then as we are in the early half of January 2019, it will settle down a bit and start moving back up again in that totally frantic buying frenzy that we've seen here over the last 10 years. So it'll be a continuation advance after this. Now, the question is, how high is it going to go? Well, that actually is kind of a tough question to answer, even with my analysis, which is the best there is. And the reason why is because you have a tremendous amount of computerized trading going on. These are buy-sell programs, totally unrelated to anything fundamental. It's just simply programs that have been pre-programmed, I guess, to make these incredibly large purchases. My best educated guess will be 30,000. Okay, that's a nice round number to shoot for. I'm much more interested in the time frame than I am the price. I really don't think I can get the price that close. I'll be perfectly frank with you when we're dealing with long-term time frames, and that's simply because the degree of market manipulation is so pronounced, especially in these U.S. stock indexes, that it's just almost impossible to gauge. All right, so we're going to be around 30,000 in 2019. And as we move beyond that, it'll go higher. I don't really know what the price level is going to be. It could be 40,000. It could probably be even 50,000, but don't quote me on that one. I think that the momentum is going to slow considerably after next year. As far as the time frame goes, the top, that's what people want to know. When you have to start getting concerned about moving out and moving into a short position, or doing some kind of shorting strategy in futures or options or whatever it is that you do, or just go to cash, I suppose, if you really want to play it safe. The time for that is fairly well prescribed in advance. And I do talk a great deal about it in my book, When Will the Illuminati Crash the Stock Market? I will say at this juncture that anything before the year 2020 in terms of crash scenario or topping is very, very unlikely. I don't see anything on the crash horizon before 2020. So you can pretty much sit back and just watch this crazy market continue to rise, making all-time highs on a daily basis, as it has done pretty much throughout that 10-year period during certain phase 3 cycles. So what happens when it hits the top? Well, they have sell programs they're going to kick in, and it's going to be rather quick, but it will be in stages. We're not going to see a drop from, say, 40,000 down to 20,000 overnight. It will be in stages, and it will look like a correction in a long-term sustained advance. But in actuality, it will be the grand supercycle decline. And that's something that's been going on for a long, long time, since the inception of the New York Stock Exchange and even before that. To say when the crash bottom will occur, now that is a tough one too, but it will have something to do with the 7-year Shemitah cycle. All right? If you know what that means, it means the stock market does move in these 7-year cycles. It's very well established. So again, I don't like really setting dates that I'm not really sure about. You know, at this juncture, it's so far out, it's almost a moot point. But just for the sake of putting a date on it, I would have to say that there could be a bottom right around 2029, right in that area, and that's about all I can say. I do know that there will be a worldwide calamity that will set that off, and it could be World War III in the Middle East. It could be an environmental disaster affecting the grid, such as a tidal wave hits New York City and wipes out Wall Street and U.S. commerce, or something like that. A interstellar collision, or some other event, perhaps political, such as another stage 9/11, but of much greater intensity. So for now, just sit back, don't panic. It's not over yet. We're still in the advanced stage. 2019 looks very good for a buy and hold strategy, and after that we'll see another correction, and it will start to lose momentum on a much more significant level than what we saw throughout the last 10 years. So trading in the markets is a risky venture. If you do it without proper information that can position you and tell you when to move in and out, you're a gambler, and you really will take a loss at some point. So my best suggestion to you is to get the Fractal Trading book, which I believe is the most powerful trading manual ever devised. I can recommend it with full confidence. It's the sum total of my trading knowledge that I have gained over nearly 3 decades. And if you follow what's in that book, you will be able to key into what I'm looking at, and you'll see clearly that the top is approaching, but it's not quite yet. In the meantime, happy trading. May God be with you.